Everyone. I hope we're all having a wonderful morning. So we're going to get started with our flipped notebook activity. And we're going to just jump on into it. All right. So with this activity, we are going to add our page number and our title to our table of contents. So the title of this activity is How to Explain. And this is part of Unit 2, Part 2. Now, this is going to be extremely important with our animal project because you are going to be expected to explain to me features of your animal. So I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and talk a little bit more about how to explain. So let me explain to you what I mean. We're going to jump on over to our notebook page. You should have it already glued down. I have it glued down. And then let's take a look. So I did put the date up at the top because we have to do that. And then this is page 12 for me. Remember, you might have a different page number and a different date. And if so, that's okay. All right. So if we're going to explain something, I'm going to look for certain features. So if I was going to ask you to explain to me features of your animal, you wouldn't say, well, it's a glowworm. That's not really explaining anything to me. That's telling me what animal you're doing and what animal you're researching, but it's not explaining to me their features. So when we explain, there's a couple steps and a couple ideas we want to keep in mind. The first thing we want to do is name the word or the idea that we are talking about. Okay, and that's kind of a weird thing to say, name the word or idea. But when we look at our sentence, it will make more sense. So first, we want to basically name what we're talking about. Okay, so in this instance, I am talking about glowworms invite insects with the light. So that's the feature that I'm focusing on right now. I'm focusing on the feature that glowworms can invite insects using light. Okay, so this is my feature. This is the feature that I want to explain to somebody. And it's important that we can go into more detail about that specific feature. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to tell what that means. Make it easy for me to understand. So, well, what do you mean that glowworms invite insects? Do they send them an email or a text message? Do they say, hey, come over here? What exactly does that mean that glowworms invite insects? So we have to make sure that we, in an easy way, make it possible for people to understand. So we want to tell what it means, and we want to make sure that it's easy to understand. So let's look at this. Glowworms use light to catch insects. Okay, well that now makes a little bit more sense. So the glowworms, they're using the light to catch insects, and that kind of means that they're inviting them. So invite is kind of a difficult word to understand in this sentence. But I'm still curious about how they use the light. Where do they get the light from? So that's why I always say in the classroom, you want to give examples or details to tell more, because I'm still very curious. This leaves me very curious. Like, how do they do that? How do they use the light? Do they get a flashlight? Or do they turn lights on and off? How exactly do glowworms use light to catch the insects? So we have to make sure, again, like I always say in the classroom, use examples or details. Details are so important. So now let's look. Glowworms make sticky threads. Then they shine a light. When insects fly towards the light, they get stuck. I have a lot of explanation and a lot of details in here. Okay, so I can see now that they can make a sticky thread. And then they can shine a light. So now when an insect flies towards the light, they get stuck. This gives me a lot more explanation of how exactly glowworms invite insects with light. So now this sentence makes a little bit more sense because now I know that glowworms use this sticky thread. Okay, so that's why it's so important to explain things with examples and details so that the person you're giving your information to understands it. And we're going to be practicing this in our classroom for our animal projects. So get ready. Whenever you're done filling out your notebook, go ahead and answer your questions. Remember, use your notebook to answer the questions. And I will see you all in class. Bye. Where's my stop button? I gotta stop. I lost it. Oh, there it is. Bye.